Rory Tom from Barbell Foods. Thanks so much for making time for us today. I had the joy of sampling your biltong in 2014, I think, when I was at the Roosters. You guys might have sent some out. It was either 2013 or 2014. They were the 2 years I was there.
Yeah, I think it was probably like 2016, 2017. Yeah, I think just because we only started in 2016, so it would have been 2014. But anyway.
There you go. I can mix up. I'm known for mixing up my years. It must have been when I was back there consulting. I do remember that it was there, at the Roosters, and Sam Kennedy was a fan of it as well. I remember all the boys were all hitting me up for some. It was good, and I think a lot of people have felt that struggle that you guys felt. When you were going camping. I was just reading on your website, you want to go camping, you want to take some food with you. And I've always been, a fan of jerky, but you couldn't get anything in Australia without a bunch of chemicals in there. And I think like solving that problem is a really valuable one. When did you guys realize that it was going to be a business for you?
Well, I mean, we took it on as just an idea. We never really actually had necessarily a huge aspiration for the business. We just take it goal by goal, and it just grew legs of its own, essentially. We did have an intro into producing biltong. I'm from South Africa, and it's really prolific there. And Luke, my brother, and I, we were wanting to start a business, and I was actually working as a PT at the time, and Luke was working as, what was he doing? He was an accountant or something.
Yeah, he was a consultant. Bit of a miserable consultant.
Yeah. So he gave himself one more year in this job because he had to wear a suit every day and work at a desk. So we were like, let's start a business. We loved like living a natural life. So we ate a lot of meats and did a lot of camping and hunting and that sort of thing. And we started producing it. And my oldest brother, he actually at the time was playing for the Wallabies as a rugby player, and he sort of convinced us. He has like an intro to a lot of the big like Dutch South African bastards in the front row that would buy a lot of biltong. So we just started producing it at home, man, like out of a carport, out of a cupboard that we found on the side of the road, and it just started selling. Like we had a strong connection to the fitness community in Canberra. And people started buying it, and then we roped our two silly mates into the business, and we were just motivated and just enjoyed running the business as a team. And it's probably the connection and the team of the business that we enjoy most. And it started paying our salaries after they were very low shit salaries for a while, but then it's still paying them. So the business is just sustained. Yeah. So it wasn't really a point actually that we had a grand vision. More so nowadays, we get together and do strategic meetings and think about like what channels we want to go down and what products we want to invent and how we want to have a good time.
Did any of you have business sort of backgrounds or experience with other businesses before you jumped into this?
Not really. We were all pretty young.
Yeah, very green. Like I came straight out of uni. I sort of moved into a share house with Luke and Rory and our other business partner Matt, and sort of didn't really have a plan. Wanted to sort of spend the next 6 months just working out what I wanted to do with my life. This sort of opportunity popped up to sort of join the boys, cut up some meat, hang some meat, dry it out, sell it at markets, and I couldn't really refuse that opportunity. I just knew it would be, obviously I'd be throwing myself in the deep end, and I think we all felt the same way. But a lot of growth would come from it. A lot of sort of, I guess, you're forced to learn things and I guess become more competent at things, and that just is a sort of a process that I've really enjoyed over the last 5 or 6 years now. Yeah.
And what did you study at uni, Tom?
I did economics and finance. So there was some sort of, I guess, models of thinking that you learn at uni regarding trade-offs and opportunity costs and stuff that have definitely stuck in my mind as we've worked through, worked over the years on the business and growing it. But I think there's also just a lot of merit in just learning on the job as well. Although a lot of the theory was really valuable, I think, these days, I just enjoy the process of continue to sort of throw yourself in the deep end with, problems that keep popping up every day in business, and it keeps you on your feet and always growing. Yeah.
And would you say is there more effort on the manufacture product side or on the sales, customer support?
Definitely.
What's harder?
Both. Depends on the period of the business. So when we started the business, the four founders, we were literally the guys who made the belt on, put the apron on, working massive days. We had no machinery. We just invested our own money, which was penance, into the business. And so we each, I think, threw 10 grand in the beginning, essentially, and rent a little space. It was so ghetto. And then we were doing everything, and it got to the point where we were feeling pretty burnt out because we were doing these massive production days, working the markets, and it was we sort of have an attitude we either wanted to go up or we wanted to go straight down, we didn't actually know what to do, and we needed to do something though, and we needed money to do something, so we raised money. My older brothers have been in business, and they've raised money for their venture. So they sort of coached us through it, and I still actually can't quite believe that we did it. But we raised a big chunk of money and built a factory, and now all of our roles in the business are much more diverse. So I'm largely in manufacturing and working with the team of guys who do the manufacturing, which I love, and also involved in business. You're sort of involved in everything a little bit. But Tom, Luke, and Matt, they have very unique roles within the business now.
So I'll just focus on the sales side of things, and sort of they call me the numbers man. So I make sure that I keep control of Rory. He wants to buy all the new machines and whatnot, and sort of just plan out how we plan to grow. And we all have different strengths. Luke and Luke sort of manages a lot of our sort of strategic direction, and is sort of a bit of a jack of all trades.
He's the CEO, mate.
Yeah, he's the CEO. And then we've got Matt, who's sort of handles the whole supply chain side of things, so all the sourcing of all our ingredients, and just managing a lot of our employees in manufacturing.
So when you went to when you got the venture capital or whatever, what you got funding, how did you feel about taking other people's money and putting that into the factory? Were you really confident that that was going to work? Or
well, I mean, I guess to anyone that is looking to raise capital, I'd recommend sort of you sort of have to start with friends and family. One, because I guess they just have unwavering sort of faith and belief in you. But also it puts a lot of skin in the game for yourself from an outsider perspective. So I think a lot of sort of institutional investors, angel investors, like to see that because they know that you're going to go to some dark places to make sure you don't piss their money off the wall. So I guess we felt good about taking other people's money because we also knew that we had a lot of people that we cared about who had backed us to grow the business, and we knew that our heart was definitely sort of in the right place in terms of the vision we had for the business.
Yeah, it was a big commitment. We had a serious discussion around it, and we just asked each other, you guys are all willing to commit to this. Like we made promises to our investors that they were going to get a return, and yeah, we truly do feel that those promises are realistic, and we want to honor them. Yeah, it would be a slight to our honor to not honor them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is huge, though. I think, like, at the moment, I don't know if you guys follow the crypto space at all, but the NFT plays have taken off as a huge thing, right? Like they're all the flavor of the month in a way. And some of the projects are anonymous, and they're asking for people to invest in their thing, and this is going to be great. And other projects are not anonymous. To me, it makes a huge difference if the person at the front of it is they already have a profile. It's clear that they have their friends involved. That changes the dynamic for me versus stuff that's purely anonymous. Obviously, in the digital world, it's less tangible. Than you guys are clearly going to produce meat. People like to eat meat. Like it's much more clear and tangible. But that's a huge thing that I look for with projects. Like, is Gary V going to scam his whole audience to get them to buy NFTs and destroy, when that's a fraction of his business, and destroy his reputation, his career, or at least have a really big black mark on it, or is he going to make it work as much as he can? Like that's I think a huge.
Why would someone do it anonymously? Like why are they doing that?
So they can run off with the money, and no one knows.
Pretty giant red flag right there.
Well, that's one reason, but it can also be because it's not really clear what the legislation and regulation is going to be around these projects. So if you're in the USA or if you're in Australia, you don't really know how legislation is going to fall. Taxation obligations, some of the projects will hold the funds somewhere, and they have plans to do whatever they're going to do with it. You know what I mean? Like it's not clear what their obligations will be on tax. So if you're going to gain $2-3 million and that's your biggest payday ever, and you don't really know how it stands, then that's probably one of some of the reasons. But there's a guy on the Gold Coast who has Gym Bros NFTs. I actually interviewed him not too long ago, and it didn't sell out. So usually there's around about 10,000 is the common way to do it. So they make this generative art and make 10,000, and this project only sold maybe 2,000 or 1,500 near the start. Usually that means the project's a flop, because the people who bought those 1,500 can sell them. Plus you're trying to sell the other 9,000. And so the first ones are going at a discount. So why would anyone buy at the full minting price? And you can't change the minting price once you're sort of in the market. But I looked at it and I thought, well, this is the sort of the first to market with this. People love gyms in Australia. This guy has a reputation, has a YouTube. He's not going to rug pull. Like, it's all his friends are going to be in on this. It's not that he's just going to try and disappear. So, I just backed it because I like, people who are having a go and innovating. And now they've sold like 4,500 or something like that, and they're chipping away. But like, he wants to have a gym where if you hold the NFT, you've got lifetime membership to the gym. So at 80%, they build the gym. So if you end up buying a gym membership for $200, like lifetime gym membership, which any Australian would go for if it was in their town and it was pretty cool, and they had good culture behind it. And this guy has a good, they have a good vibe and style about things they do. And they're also going to airdrop clothes and stuff. So, to me, like, I love supporting those kinds of projects. And I mean, that kind of thing, fast forward, 5 years, and you guys might have done your funding that way, where you had CrossFit boxes and whatnot buying your NFT in exchange for future meat. And, that could have been a different path to raise funds. Maybe it's not as good as what you guys did.
We don't actually know all that much about NFTs. Like, I've watched some YouTube videos and I have some pretty basic ideas, but how could what's a scenario in which we could use an NFT?
Well, you could sell 50 of them, and anyone who holds one of those 50 gets 10% off all their orders, or they get to sample new product flavors or things like that. They get to come and go camping with you guys. Like there's 10 of them that are camping related. You could run an event competition, or there's a the CrossFit box could have you guys come to their event and do samples or whatever. Like there's different ways you could do it, but it's Yeah, I like it because they're tradable, so it takes the risk out of it for the other person. So if they don't want to buy your meat anymore and they don't want the discount anymore, they can put the NFT on a market and they can sell it to someone else who likes your meat now, and you guys can link to that. So it gives them a speculative option to make money on your business if they think your business is going to become more valuable. Like I know you're working with Simon from Mackenzie's Meats, great guy, helping to get meat out, quality meat and support farmers and all that sort of stuff. Sydney, I guess you Jamie Sangster as well. Do you know?
Yeah, he's come along to a couple of we run a Friday Granimals workout that some diehards attend every Friday morning. But he's frequented a few at least.
Yeah. So these are great guys. You could make it that for those kind of people who are looking for wholesale, like there could be an NFT thing on that where they get an additional discount. But then I think it forms a stronger bond between you guys as well when you have that sort of thing. So they're NFT holders. The technology, like they can have access to different level of discussion or access to you guys, even in like R&D or suggestions about where your product goes and things like that. If you're getting creative feedback from people who have a vested interest in your product being really good, I think it's just all positive stuff. And I think that you kind of get it already, but it sort of formalizes it a little bit more when there's been like some sort of cash exchange.
Yeah,
and
I was about to say that it's a formal exclusivity essentially, and that's cool. Yeah,
it's kind of just like a club, like which you could do without an NFT as well. Like you could just say, look, you give us $200 and you're in our club, or you give us $2,000 and you're in our club, $20,000 and you're in this club. But it's the actual physical thing of it, and people like it's not physical, it's digital. But I think people are going to get that concept, especially with it being resellable. Because if it's not, they're not going to be able to resell if you send them out a birthday card that says thanks for your $20,000, you're now part of this club. It's not as easy for them to pass that birthday card on to someone else as it is with an NFT, and as people understand it more. The better application would be that you guys give royalties. So you could sell 10% of your club, of your business, of your profits for X amount, and you're going to give 5% of profits ongoing to those holders, and you can raise more money with that kind of thing. But that's where regulators and stuff aren't. It's not clear yet how that's going to work, especially for countries like Western countries, Australia, America. Like we don't know yet how that's all going to play out. Like, but Gary V's kind of floated that of like maybe 5 or 6 years from now, like maybe I'm going to give royalties to V friends, and it might only be a fraction, but it's still cool, and it's still like, and it makes them like hardcore fans of yours. Like they're going to be reposting your stuff and they're going to be telling their friends about it if they're getting a return on what they're doing. So like I love it from the perspective of it starts to give you some of the advantages that Apple and Tesla and those kind of companies have. Maybe not so much Amazon, but people are fanatical about like Tesla and Amazon, and they want to Apple. They want to tell their friends, and people would love your stuff, but they would love it even more if they were kind of part of the business. And rather than them investing in Amazon or Apple and Tesla to speculate, they could speculate with you guys and actually then play a part in you being better. And, they could give you marketing ideas. They could make videos for you. Like I've thrown out as a challenge to some of my members, like make a cool video that we can put on our Instagram. It helps them to grow their own business because we can have their name on the Instagram and stuff like that. But if there's that business relationship where, they're NFT holders and they're going to get percentage of profits, there's just more incentive for them to think creatively about that stuff.
Anything that can sort of help mobilize, I guess, funding for startups is just a really like good thing. I think like especially in Australia, it's just there's so many frictions to raising money in the first place, and like it's hard for any small investors to get involved with or get exposed to sort of these riskier startups as well. So anything like Kickstarter and NFTs and stuff that allow for this, I think there needs to be a bit more of a culture of innovation in Australia instead of just sort of focusing on services and stuff. So
I'd love like that's why I got so excited about seeing them. I've been sort of talking about it, and people are like, oh, it's all a scam, it's all crap. It kind of is when there's like there's 2,000 different ape projects now after Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like everyone's bringing out their own ape, and like 99% of them are just people like just asking for suckers money. But if you guys do one, you're not going to disappear on that. Like you're not going to, you know what I mean? Like and maybe the market's not ready for it yet, but if we have the conversation now, if we think about it now, if we work out, you know, how we do it, then 2 years from now or 18 months from now, like, you know, you get it launched and you do it right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you sound pretty keen on one. I'll put you down for one then, eh? One of our NFTs.
100%. Like, but seriously, like, you know, 100%. Like, I like supporting guys like you. Like, you know, you gave me some free biltong. You've given some to, you know, members of my Uncom group. And most of the guys are sort of like, they're like us. They're like guys who want to make it work. They want to start their own businesses. There's barriers to that. So, you know, that's why I'm doing this podcast, is because you guys are super relatable to a lot of the people that I work with who have the dream of working for themselves and, you know, getting something off the ground. So if it was easier for me to invest in, you know, you guys, but also these other guys that I'm, you know, inspiring to, like, you know, have a go at it, like with Simon, you know, he came and visited me on the Sunshine Coast, and we spoke through, like, this is how it could work, and let's do this and that. And we were actually going to be partners in it initially. And then I just had a lot of other things on, and, you know, he's done it himself. But I love seeing that. And yeah, I would have supported him to raise, you know, if he needed to raise 50 grand at the start to do X, Y, Z, or further in the growth. Like that's really what I want to do. Like it's one of the best uses of having a network, you know, is to be able to do that. And if you guys then had an NFT in my club, and then that gave you access to a bunch of other people kind of like me, because most of the guys are like, a lot of the guys are really into regenerative agriculture and all that sort of stuff. Then it's you got an incentive to be connected more to me, and I've got an incentive to support you. And like, it's just co-incentivizing in the way it happens in big business and with people who've got billions. That's how it works. Like they do play these games. They've got money in each other's, you know, things, and they get in early on things and they win. But like, yeah, allowing that to be a bit more democratized on a micro level is, something that really excites me. So,
yeah. Well, obviously your community know a lot about it. I'm sure you have like a discussion board. Yeah, if anyone listening, you guys have ideas for us, we're all ears. Yeah.
Okay, I've been following that discussion board the last like 2 weeks, Keegan. I must say, like, it has actually got me. It's sort of like a forced journaling exercise. I mean, I don't actually contribute much, but it's just, I think it's such a great thing to sort of, I guess, get a group of guys together and like just vocalize sort of their ambitions, their struggles. And I think that it needs to be far more of it, like, I guess, just in our culture. And yeah, I just wanted to sort of like say hats off to you for I guess, pushing that. And I think I saw one of your posts recently about like this concept of tryhards in Australia. And I think like it run home a lot with me. I think, it's definitely something that we need to be less afraid of and surround ourselves with people that actually encourage people to take on or bite off more than they can chew, and perhaps fail, but like encourage it. And I think that's probably when I look at the community you've built, I think that's at its core one of the best things about your community. There's plenty of other things, but yeah, I'll just sort of say hats off. Yeah.
I appreciate that, Tom. And I bet you guys kind of did that for yourselves. Like having the four of you there probably made what you did more doable than if one of you had tried to do it on your own. It may just have been a little bit too much to believe in and to, you know, to pull it off, like to get to the markets and all that stuff.
Parents, for instance, all of our parents were very supportive and like go get it sort of attitude.
Yeah.
And my parents have always been in business, and they're very encouraging of taking risk. I think we are just the experiences that we're exposed to. So if we had people scoffing at us trying to go for it, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, that's huge. And that's, I guess, what I'm looking to be, is that if someone doesn't have a family with a business background, like my family doesn't have, no one had a business sort of background, and I left the safety of working in the NRL full-time in 2014. I wanted to have a go at my own business. Didn't know if I could make it work, but I wanted to give it a shot. I thought there was something else. and I'm still doing it. I've made it work. But a lot of guys probably don't feel like, I know a lot of guys are stuck in jobs they don't like. They're stuck with mortgages that they don't like, and they're just stuck, and it sucks. And that's what I love, seeing people make things work. And a lot of my friends now have, they've started businesses and they've made it work, and it hasn't been easy, and they're not all rolling in cash. But for those who have that ambition, like, I want to be that voice that says, yeah, you can do it. And also for them to be able to know you guys like you, or, like Simon, or people who are just a few steps ahead in the journey. Like, it means so much. I think when some people don't have any friends that are into that, their friends are all doing the same thing they're doing because they work FIFO or whatever. So to start with, it was all gyms, and it's still mostly sort of gyms and PTs, but it started to branch out a bit more. So, you guys would relate to a lot of gyms. Like, how's it been? How's Barbell Biltong connected with, I guess there's like a strong CrossFit connection, but then other gyms, like, how's it been in terms of building those relationships?
Yeah, I think we've changed our angle has evolved, and our target customer has evolved. We used to market our biltong as a great camping snack, and a great snack for like a post-workout meal, more of like a supplement. But honestly, I eat biltong every day. Often I'll literally just eat biltong until dinner. I'll just drink a bit of coffee and eat biltong. And it's so goddamn convenient and accessible and delicious that we've started to educate people in that more now. That this is actually a snack for anyone who's busy, which is pretty much everyone, that has a grasp on what they should be eating, on nutrition, essentially, which is becoming much more widespread now. So we still do have a target market in that it's people who are like self-educated in nutrition, but I truly do. I don't think there's anyone that wouldn't benefit from eating biltong.
Yeah, I'll back you up on that. Like, I went full carnivore in 2017. I heard Sean Baker and Joe Rogan, and I thought, well, I'll just give this a shot. It was right at the end of the year, I think, that year. I thought, I'll give this a shot. I was still getting some seasonal allergies. I had a lot of trouble with seasonal allergies as a kid. It's a real pain when I was presenting and speaking. I'd just been at the Roosters, and I was just getting a little bit, but it impacts, your presence, if your eyes and your nose. And I was going down to Canberra for an event, actually, at Mitch Pike's gym. I don't know if you ever came across him, but he had a really good gym there. Yeah. So guys came from all over the place to go to an event at his gym. And on the way down there, I listened to Sean Baker saying, as an orthopedic surgeon, that he was getting results with people where they didn't have to take the saw out and chop the end off the bone and stick something else on if they ate just meat. And, he'd been doing it himself, and he'd been down the rabbit hole of sort of paleo and then keto, and then he tried this only meat. And I was like, wow, that sounds a bit too hardcore. That's I don't know if I can handle that. Sounds a little bit disgusting, to be honest. Like, that was my reaction to it. I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. Like, I'd pretty much try anything. And then I did it for like 6 months, and, it was good. Like, I can say for a fact that you can live on just meat, and you can train well. Like, I had really consistent training, and the biggest thing for me is probably the mental side. Like, I'd always been quite up and down mentally. Like, I'd have runs where I had amazing energy and then just be really down and just not want to talk to people and just be quiet, and sort of generally naturally more introverted. And when I went on the meat focus, I didn't have anywhere near that same sort of change in mental energy. And I just thought it was me, but I realized, like, there is a physiological component to it as well as, psychological. So now it's like a tool where I know that if I need to reset my gut or my mind, I can go to that sort of nutrition, even if it's just for a couple of days. And it's really easy. Like, it's so simple. Like, you just literally I'm just going to eat as much steak as I want, and that's it. So, but biltong is like.
Sorry, you go.
Oh, I was just going, biltong like gives another level of convenience to it. You don't have to get the fry pan out all the time.
Yeah, you don't have to carry around your grill. But yeah, I'm the same. I probably just eat meat and fruit at the moment, which is, sort of just mimicking a lot of other people that are doing it out there. But I think for me, I enjoy the foods, so it's sustainable for me, and it's just simple as well. Like it's just the simplicity and the sustainability of it, and the fact that I'm not getting sick of it. That's what I guess makes like a good diet for me, and my energy's there. So like, I'm not going to look into it too much more than that, and just sort of intuitively sort of go with how I eat.
Yeah, I love it. A lot of the guys are doing that diet at the moment in the ATG for Coaches group community. Ben's been doing that diet since speaking to Paul Saladino, like meat and fruit, and he just has fruit at night. It's like his deal. Yeah, a lot of the guys are just getting shredded and finding they don't, crave the donuts and pizza and that sort of stuff. Like I haven't eaten those sorts of foods for a long time, but a lot of people still are, and it's it's a big change for them if they go to these sorts of diets. But I think it can help a lot in terms of productivity. Like you guys are trying to you want to be successful in business. I think it's a good strategy what you're doing. Eating biltong for the day, and coffee, water, biltong, and then have whatever you're going to have at night time, and
it's a bit of rice as well
to be productive. What's that?
Yeah, I do like me a bit of rice.
He eats rice for breakfast sometimes. He's got
I burn too much goddamn energy, man. I can't get fat if I try.
You're on the factory. Are you in the factory there quite a bit? You have
I don't know what it is, but I've never really held an ounce of fat on me, and I can just get away with eating mostly anything. But I seriously crave like a dense carbohydrate. Even if I could eat a lot of meat and a lot of fruit, but particularly if I've done some hard training that day, like Granimals rock workout or like a Muay Thai session or something. I could eat fruit all day, but goddamn, I just my body. I can tell my body just wants something. But I haven't really persisted with not eating rice either. Maybe I'll just adapt to it, but I feel pretty damn good, so I'm not really worrying about it.
That's the game. If you feel good and you're getting good results, like it's good. I think for a lot of footy players, like that's the go-to that I would send them to is either rice or potatoes, like whichever they suits them best. Some people like the sweet potatoes, but potatoes or rice are kind of the more accessible ones. And like if you just use it tactically, if you need to put on mass or if you are training super high volume, and pulsing them a little bit, like once a day, maybe twice a day, is generally better than 3, 4, 5, 6 sugar hits a day is sort of more the norm for society. And with a bunch of processed stuff in there, like I don't think that everybody needs to avoid all carbohydrate all the time forever. But we don't probably want a lot of fortified foods and that sort of stuff is what I'm more concerned about. Is when there's a lot of additives of things, and I think if we can get athletes and everyday people away from that stuff, that's why what you guys are doing is really important. And it is so difficult to have healthy snacks. Like I think that it's not in Australia because they can just order from you guys, but there hasn't been it has been a really difficult market. Like as someone who's wanted to eat healthy for a long time, you feel that when you're out, like there's literally nothing here. Like there's nothing in Coles that I can just eat, and there's nothing, like where am I going to find something that fits like my values and my goals? So it's super cool that you guys have, you're making that available. How much meat actually goes into like 100 grams of biltong? Because obviously the dehydrated weight is
it's about 60% of its weight. So to probably get a 220, 230 gram steak in 100 grams of biltong. So a decent size steak.
So if you're going to get a steak at a restaurant, you often get about 200 to 300 gram steak. Is like 300 gram steak is quite a big steak at a restaurant, and effectively you're getting that for whatever the price of your 100 gram. I saw what are the sticks called? Oh, I never got the pronunciation of that.
The meat sticks.
Yeah.
You're not using that other name.
You're the South African. What's the South African word?
Well, the South African word is truvos, which means dried sausage. Essentially. But we call our biltong. It says biltong on there and truvos, but we just call them meat sticks and air dried steak. It's It doesn't sound as fancy, but it's simplistic, and we just wanted to keep it simple because it is.
Then you know what it is. Yeah. I think it's good for people to know what it is. Because biltong's well known, but probably there's still a lot of people who don't really understand. I'd imagine Edward steak tells the story a bit better.
Yeah.
That was a big consideration when we changed, because our packet used to just say biltong in it, and we did this massive overhaul of our packaging and change the name of the thing. Yeah, it was a big one.
It was a good move.
I think so in the end. Yeah, I mean, it might have pissed off a few South Africans here and there. It's a bit disloyal, but yeah, I think like more and more as we've grown, we've just realised that all your messaging with any of your branding just has to be super plain and simple and consistent. Consistent as well. So that was just a good option for us. Just call a spade a spade.
What's the fat content in the meat sticks and the biltong?
Well, I've got this is biltong bag here. So it's 33 grams per 100 grams for the biltong. It's actually quite a fatty biltong compared to others on the market, and I think meat sticks are a bit lower. 26 grams per 100 grams for the meat sticks. So yeah, definitely we will look at doing some leaner options as well, but just from a flavour perspective, we can't go past like the fatty biltong. It's the best.
Yeah. Is that why you've stayed with the fattier?
I think, we just really like it, man. Like that. It's so much better. We do get requests for a leaner product. People who really want to dial in their macros, and we could do it. We're just so inundated with requests, and it's always very tempting to create new products, and product development is key to our business. But you really just got to knuckle down and refine your key products first. Lots of fat, and also I think it's just much more satiating as well. If you were just eating straight protein, I think you probably get through so much more of it, really.
100%. Yeah. I'm a fan of the fattier side. Like if you're doing more carnivore, then you need to make sure you're getting the fat. Otherwise, you just get hungry, or you get crazy shredded if you do eat the only lean meat. But it's not really sustainable, as you sort of say. So it's cool that you have a fattier product, because that's a problem, that you might find something, but then if it's super low fat, then it's like you have to kind of like smudge some lard on there or something at the tallow or something. So you guys, you don't have to have that issue.
People have such varying preferences as well. Like we get requests all the time, people saying, like sending us photos of the fattiest piece of biltong they found, like 60% fat, and then like a little bit of meat on there. And they're like, can you just make this product consistently? And then some people saying, can't eat this biltong, I've got too much fat on it. So it often is a split.
Can't please everyone.
Yeah, you can't please everyone. Yeah.
What do you think about those kind of meat bars that, like in the US at Whole Foods and that? I think they have the Peak bars and that kind of. There's a few more options over there. They're more like mixed with berries and things like that.
Does that sort of product appeal to you?
I like them. Like they're tasty. I have them when I'm over there. But I don't know what the market is in Australia or. Yeah.
There's not much of an established market here for them. So potentially a big opportunity for them. And we have experimented a lot with making meat bars. There's a meat stick is essentially the exact same thing, except in a stick form. It is quite funny how a bar might appeal to more people just because the culture is familiar with a protein bar and consuming food in bar form, but we haven't too used to eating it in stick form. But we would consider stick bars, but we just want to make a great success of the sticks first, simply because the manufacturing process of making the sticks was much more accessible to us in terms of the machinery that we already had. So we just wanted to really capitalize our current machinery. Comes down to the question, like, is it make or break? Like, does it need to be a bar? or can it work as a stick? And we're going to try and make it work as a stick. The meat sticks are our newest product.
Yeah.
Our brand was established on Biltong, so that's our main seller. So the meat sticks is still growing for us, but it's here to stay.
Yeah,
definitely. Like the pemmican angle though is tempting. We did do a little bit of sort of at home R&D of it for a time there, and mixing the fruit in with the tallow and the meat shavings, it definitely is it's a different type of experience, the sticks. But I think just at this stage we don't want to spread ourselves too thin across too many products, so that might be one we can chat to you about in a year or so.
I don't know if there's any commercial pemmican anywhere in the world. I don't think, but the bars are kind of similar to the sticks that I've had. I haven't had the sticks from you guys, unfortunately, but they often have the fruit blended in. That's like more what I was saying. Like it is a different kind of product. The ones that those guys are doing. I probably prefer mostly without the fruit in there. Like I like just the basic stuff that you guys have. I have made pemmican a bunch of times. My mother-in-law makes it when she comes and visits us. But it's a bit of a hassle, and like most batches aren't amazing that we make, to be honest. But every now and then it turns out really good, and it's kind of like eating like cold sausage almost. That's how it turns out for us. But
so the main challenges with it are that there's so much fat in there that you can have issues with shelves, like the eating experience of the product once it's in a packet. Because remember, we have to put a long shelf life on these things, and if they're exposed to heat, that fat can liquidize. And with pemmican, it's made with a rendered fat, which is much faster to liquidize, and it can also leave like a pasty, chalky mouth, a flavor texture in the mouth. I don't mind that, and I think most diehards don't mind that. But we can't invest in all the machinery and everything for such a niche group. Perhaps, but when we make a meat stick, we use like a type of fat from the animal that's very juicy. It's like the type of fat you'd find on a steak, as opposed to a rendered fat. So it doesn't liquidize as easily.
And the non-rendered fat is generally tastier. Like I think it's all good stuff. I can see like people are familiar with pemmican, like they don't really know that it existed, but apparently it was the food that they really survived on. A lot of the early explorers and settlers in Canada and like North America, northern United States, like they used to trade for like bags and bags of it. Like sometimes they'll trade in alcohol or whatever, but that was like what you did when you killed a beast in the cold was, turn it into pemmican, and then you could have it for months and years.
Every culture actually has a form of preserving meat. Obviously, like before refrigeration, nothing goes to waste. Got to preserve meat. So you can dry meat in very cold conditions, which takes a much longer time. Think about things like salamis and things like that. They're done in cold rooms typically. Or you can dry meat at very dry and humid conditions as well. If you type in like any culture you can think of or country, and then type in preserved meat, there's the craziest shit out there, man. Like in Africa, they would get huge chunks of meat and put them in these igloos made out of sand boxes, essentially, and then have a series of tunnels running into these igloos, and they would have, I'm not exactly sure how it worked, but a natural circulation of air flowing through the igloos, and they'd draw these massive things of meat out. It's pretty amazing.
You got to keep the animals away from the meat, right? And try and hide the smell, or that's cool. Have you? I think that'd be cool. Some good content. It'd be good to maybe you can team up with someone who wants to make a mini doco or presentation around like the history of meat preservation. I think it'd be pretty cool. education type stuff to fit in with your brand. Maybe Simon might be up for it. But yeah, it'd be fun to see.
I have a little how-to video of biltong come out pretty soon. So how to make biltong.
Oh yeah, yeah, cool.
So that'll be a good starting point, and
yeah,
might do some experimentation after that. Yeah.
The history stuff is interesting though. I think it gives that context of like, this is okay. Like, people have done this for a long time, and it's actually a big part of the reason that humanity exists is because we knew how to preserve meat. Like, how do you what else are you going to preserve for a long time through really tough conditions when you have to travel? Like, it's not easy to carry a sack of potatoes. Rice fields don't travel very well. Like, it's why we're here is because we knew how to preserve meat. And I think that's time where meat's being really demonized, to put that historical perspective of like, no, this is why we're here. Like, we survived through an ice age. Apparently we got down to 60 people or something in one tribe is one version of history. And, they survived because they had meat and they knew how to preserve meat, and every culture's known how to preserve meat, as you say. And we shouldn't lose that. we shouldn't, eliminate that from human usage, which, some people are pushing towards, right?
Yeah.
I think actually, like, I like what you say about the history of it. I think if you truly want to delve deep into something, and you should start from the start. And I think it was actually Poliquin. He's was talking about strength training, and he was saying, if you're truly interested in strength training, learn the history of strength training. Like, go back to strong men and actually learn about how strength was discovered, essentially, and how we learned to manipulate the body to develop strength. So I started doing that, like researching, and I was like, holy shit, these guys just came from the circus, and they were like freaks of nature, and they would, and the principles I learned were so simple. Like, they hardly changed. I think Poliquin was saying you could pick a book from the 40s, and if you follow the principles in there, you can become an absolute beast.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's a great way to attack anything. Like, what's the truth about diet is a question that most people are asking themselves, and they can get all twisted up and go down all different paths. If you look at that historical perspective, like, to me, that's the most valuable. Look at what animals do. Look at the way the gut's designed. Look at the way other animals' guts are designed. Those sorts of things, to me, is get you closer to the truth, where it's like, no, it couldn't have, it can't be this way because that doesn't match the historical perspective.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really shoot a Beyond Burger with a bow and arrow.
That'd be the only thing I'd want to do with it. Personally. Yeah. So yeah, like, how the carnivore type thing, it has become a thing, like, of there's sort of paleo and there's keto, and the carnivore movement has become quite popular and mainstream, and a lot of guys are doing 1 month carnivore challenges, like Rogan's done it, and Mark Bell's another big name in fitness that's sort of done it. Has that impacted your business or branding at all?
Yeah. I think, like, we've started to realise that I guess some of our most valuable, most loyal customers are all coming from the carnivore community. We should probably shout out to Matthew Clare. He orders about 100 bags a month.
Yeah,
our biltong. But yeah, I think it kind of just made us realise the value of, like, the nutrition of the product that we were providing. So I guess initially we were really centered on just convenience, but just seeing people, I guess, overcome all sorts of ailments, autoimmune diseases and whatnot, by going on the carnivore diet. We realized that, we actually had a product that could really help people. And I guess we've started to sort of, market the nutrient density of the product more and more, and the high protein nature of it. Yeah.
We actually make it like specifically a product for that's more suited to the carnivore diet. It's literally just meat, vinegar, and salt.
Yeah.
We have to use the vinegar. I think most people don't have a problem with it at all. But these bags are actually in, like, Woolworths. We're in 10% of Woolworths in Australia, so we're not fully there yet. But we're committed to the carnivore movement. We even put a carnivore snack on the bag, which we like to represent the carnivore community. And I think often I do wonder what people actually think of this. The average person, if they see this in a Woolworths or something.
Yeah.
But and we're going to do a carnivore meat stick as well. It'll just be the meat, salt, and vinegar. And we made these out of just enough demand from customers, and it's actually our favorite product now. It's my go-to, the carnivore sea salt, flavor.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, some people are happy with all the spices, but I guess, as you say, there's that specialized population that might want, without that. It's good to have the variety as well. I mean, I think it's great that you have a few flavors. It makes it more sustainable again. But the thing is, it doesn't tend to get old. I think a lot of processed foods, you sort of go, yeah, that's enough, and I don't really crave that anymore. Where like meat and salt, sort of something I'm happy to go back to each day. Like anytime I'm hungry, I'm ready to eat that. But it is cool that you have some flavors, and now having the sticks as well gives people a different, another option. Yeah, that's really cool. How's it been working with Woolworths?
So far so good. I mean, we only launched in late October this year, and it's a big step for us. I guess it's sort of that national sort of exposure that we've had like little experiences of, but this is sort of what we've been striving for the last few years. I guess the fact that they've put us in the health food aisle, as opposed to with all the other sort of savoury snacks in the chips aisle where all the other jerkies are, is a big sort of leg up for us, and hopefully a sign of, I guess, where things are trending, and maybe they're looking to get a few more, healthy meat snacks in that aisle, and we'll keep coming up with new ones and going to them and try to really hammer home the benefits of meat snacks, because if you look in those aisles at the moment, you'll find that the majority of the healthy snacks are just pretty much date-based bars, and I think there's definitely a lot more room for a bit more variety.
You hear a lot of horror stories about working with Woolies as well, like big, thing like you work for the Man or something, and we were given the advice by people to not put all your eggs in one basket with Woolies. We don't actually need Woolies for our business to continue ticking over. I think that's been good advice, but I mean they've only been good to deal with, really.
Yeah. I think they get the product. They get that there's demand for it. They've really given us a good chunk of stores in every capital city to sort of do this trial sort of period with them, and it's really just on us now to sort of spread the word and get people buying it off their shelves, and they've been easy to deal with. Yeah.
Have you had feedback on demand and sales through Woolworths?
Yeah, so far so good. I think we're hitting the numbers that we need to hit, which is good. And we're actually on a little retreat now with a couple of other founders, and we're doing a bit of strategy session tomorrow. We have some sort of big plans to really do a lot of tastings at a lot of these Woolies stores around the country. Sort of get a big team together and get them all pumped up and get them a lot of Australians try and Biltong for the first time in store, and so hopefully you'll be able to see our faces in Sydney and Melbourne and Brisbane pretty soon.
That's super exciting. That's really cool to hear that the uptake's been good. It doesn't surprise me. Like I think they've been behind the market trend for a while, probably not having products that fit that demographic, especially in sort of trendier places in the major cities where people do have money and they are eating, the health foods. As you say, like your product is going to sit a lot better, and people are going to deal with it metabolically and digestively a lot better than date-based products. I think so it really is a true whole food, where some of those they're marketed as that, but in my then they're more of a treat, more of an alternative to a Mars bar, really like an option for, eating on the go.
Yeah. I'd rather just eat a Mars bar.
Yeah. 50-50. So what's next then for you guys? I think you've shared a bit. Like, I guess the big thing sort of growth with Woolies and getting the word out on the sticks, or what's like most exciting for you?
I think there's a few angles that will go down. Obviously, we still need to really make the most of our flagship product, which is the biltong. So we're definitely finished there in terms of just increasing our distribution. We really want to up our game with how we're marketing the product as well, through different channels, do some experimentation there. But the other big thing for us is we've actually been doing sort of a freeze-dried liver product for quite some time now on our website, which we've been really happy with, and it's been a good way to test out the product. And I think
I saw that.
At some point we'll go down that, probably an angle of some sort of animal-based supplement, potentially with organs and whatnot. So that's probably where we're leaning to next in terms of new products at this stage. Whilst also just trying to increase our distribution in Australia. Once we sort of work out how to sell biltong really well in Australia, that's when we might look to overseas markets. But that's probably still a few years away for us, I'd say.
How much growth would you need before you would want to do that? Like, what kind of target would you have roughly?
Before export?
Before you export, how much increase in profits?
I think for us, it comes down to we could do it now, all right? We could invest in an export license. There's a few little red tape things in Australia when it comes to exporting meat, so it's a little more costly than exporting other products. That's one thing. But I think for us, we really want to focus on how do we grow a brand within our domestic market first. We need to learn still a few more things about that process at the moment before we branch out into a foreign market that we understand less, that costs more to distribute. We don't really have any foot soldiers anywhere else at the moment. So I guess it's like we want to develop a bit more of a playbook in Australia. Maybe this year is sort of where we get a lot of learnings from. And then definitely if we know we've got a good product, once we've sort of got down pat how to market it really well, we'll just replicate that playbook, I guess, in other countries. Which country that will be, not too sure yet.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, that you sort of see potential to improve on the marketing side and create something that you can duplicate to scale.
Yeah, on the marketing side as well, we have found it hard in the past to invest money or our time into marketing, because running an actual factory takes up so much time. So there was always like immediate tasks that needed solving day to day. We haven't been able to invest our money and actual just time to learn the marketing space. That is changing for us now. We've got such an unreal team at the factory. Like all our staff are guns, and they take on more responsibility there. It's freeing up more of our time, and we love creating content. We're working with like a videographer who's like a friend of ours who eats carnivore as well. And just creating fun content. It's just the stuff we actually do, like around the factory and all the shenanigans we get up to. And just giving people more of an insight into the day-to-day runnings of a meat factory. Often I've been in it for so long that sort of forget how interesting it really is. So I'm just at the moment just feeling like a rekindling of like a excitement for inviting people into our business. So putting a bit more effort into that at the moment.
I was looking through your social content before the podcast, and I could see you guys really have a cool kind of quirky sense of humor thing going on that I think can do really well. Like that human side, like being a human brand and that people can relate to, and sharing the journey of the meat and stuff. Like I think that makes a ton of sense. There is an art for sure to capturing that, and you have to be looking at it. Like it's not something that comes naturally to me to produce like really good, reels and whatnot. But I'm seeing it with ATG for coaches. A lot of the guys I'm working with now, they are producing really good content, and it, has a huge impact on the business if you can curate sort of reels. And I mean, the reels are the big one, that sort of TikTok type videos. But I think your user generated stuff could be really, really powerful for you guys as well, where you're giving away prizes for people who want to do that stuff for you. I think, you've got a product and a big market that the people who are into it, they really love it and they want to do things to support it. And so, those connections could be big. I was looking at, those, what do they call it? The Island Boys. Have you seen the Island Boys? The guys with the crazy tattoos, and they've got like dreadlocks, like little, they look like kind of aliens, but I don't know what their story is. Like they pop up sometimes on my YouTube shorts, but it seems as though you can pay them to make like a little video about anything. Right, like they're just, which I'm sure a lot of people do now. Like it's basically like a shout outs thing, but they look so strange that it like grabs your attention when you. But that gives me there are a lot of people who would, I think, be happy to make a video that talks about your product and like tests your product. If you can see that they already know how to make videos, then I think like those kind of partnerships could work really well. Because
we have actually thought about this over the years, is getting people involvement, and that's actually immediately what came to mind when we were talking earlier about NFTs, having that inner circle, feeling motivated, potentially financially motivated, with a profit sharing setup, to help us grow and market the business. It is totally unbelievable that the technology we have in our pocket today. Our phones on your phone camera is like better than a camera like 60 years ago. Like a fucking full cinematic camera. It's just absolutely incredible.
100%,
Put out now. I think it's opened up the domain for creativity so extraordinary now. Just the other day, I was like walking through our factory. I felt quite proud. I was like, wow, I can't believe like this has all come together. This one room of our production. So I was like, I'll get a bit of a video of it. And I just filmed myself explaining like, we pull the trolley out of here, and this is how we determine if the biltong's ready, and this is what this machine over here is for, and showing the boys working, and we got such a great response from it. Just this, we do it every day, and it took me 5 minutes just to show people who love our product that there's human beings making this stuff, and we're trying to do it with a smile as well.
I love it. It comes across that you can see that you guys really love what you do. The project started because you love biltong and you have that history with it, and those stories do matter to people. Like people are concerned. There are a lot of people who are concerned about big brands that just want profit, and they don't necessarily care what goes into the products. Like, and it's really clear that you guys aren't those you're not that person, and so it's cool to see the company grow and become more accessible, and it'd be great if it is in more Woolies and becomes just more of a household name. I think that's that'd be a great thing for everyone in Australia to know that whenever they think of a healthy snack, like they think of you guys. And even I remember being not long ago in Australia, like at the petrol stations, like they have tons of jerky now, but it's difficult. Like often there's not a good one. So ideally, it's even if the market becomes more competitive, the overall market awareness is getting bigger and bigger, that you guys will have a strong share in a bigger and bigger market. That'd be the ideal, I guess, for the consumer. market gets huge for that, and you guys continue to do well.
Yeah. Yeah, we are actually rolling out in a lot of petrol stations. EG. I think it's like 150 or something, 150 stores.
Yeah, that'll be around May. That if you're stopping by, have a look in your local petrol station.
Yeah, cool. That's it's good to hear that, because that's one of the times when people are on the road, that they end up having stuff that they're not proud of eating and they feel worse for after.
Not many options.
Everyone should just have like a box of these in the car, and then they would be fine when they if they got a box of meat sticks in the car, then you're never getting that problem. But the challenge for, I guess, is you're going to eat them if they're there because they taste good. But better to be snacking something that makes you leaner and stronger than the alternative, right?
Yeah, that's your problem, not ours.
Well, I really appreciate your time today. It's great to meet you guys, and I do appreciate that you've given some samples to some of the guys in the community, and it's really cool that you're working together with Simon and Jamie. And I hope we can do more, build more of a connection, and if I can support you in any way, and if people who are listening to this want to get connected more with Barbell Foods, I guess reaching out. What's the best way if people? I mean, obviously they can buy product from the store, but if they want to talk to you.
Yeah, like Instagram, any of our socials is a good one. I mean, if they're only on the Telegram channel, I'm in there as well, so feel free to send me a message. But or even just email us through our website. But more than happy to sort of just answer any questions people have for us. And if they're interested in getting samples as well, hit us up and we'll get some in your hands.
That's a generous offer. So is it Barbell Foods on Instagram? Is it?
Yeah.
Is there a dot in there or anything, or I don't have it in front of me?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a dot. No.
I don't know, honestly. Luke manages the social media, but
they'll find it.
You can buy our products on the website as well. You'll find it. Everyone,
So what's the website? Barbellfoods.com.au or Barbell Tom?
That's the one. Yeah, Barbell Foods.
Okay.
Also, I think there's a discount code at the moment, Keegan, for everyone in your community. I think it's Uncommon Success 25. So they wanted to, get some discounted biltong right now. They could jump over. Yeah.
Cool. I'll put that in the notes as well for the show. So I appreciate that. I appreciate your support, and I hope that we can build a connection, because it's building business that makes the world better. Like, that's what I'm super passionate about. You guys are definitely doing that. So well done on your work so far, and look forward to following the journey, being a part of it.
Thank you, Keegan.
Thanks, mate. Catch you later.